Hello everyone, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today for this week's question and answer videos. I hope everybody's okay out there. Happy holidays. I know that already triggers some people, right? With the holidays approaching, I just want you guys to know that our brain will tell us we're going to have the type of holiday that we've been having. If we've had bad ones, this is why you might be so depressed or anxious or scared of this holiday. I also want to tell you that it doesn't matter what you do at all, only how you feel about it. Let's try, this is a good test, let's try to not do what other people want and try to do what we want or what we know is good for us. Make it through these holidays. Just make it through. Nothing bad happens. You already have one good holiday where nothing bad happens. That means next holiday, this thing will tell you it's going to be okay, hopefully. Okay? Some of the things I recommend is, even if you don't want to celebrate or stuff like this, some of the things that really make us feel good is giving gifts. With it being that type of holiday, I suggest try giving people gifts. That's what feels really good, okay? And you don't have to celebrate, you don't have to do anything else this holiday. Try not to be by yourself, okay? And that doesn't mean you have to attend a Christmas party or go to your family if you don't want to. Try to do anything else, okay? So all I'm doing, just for those of you who are new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us. I'm answering people's questions from last week. I do this every single Monday. Ask me anything down in the comment box and I'll answer your question in the next video. Try to ask me videos on the most current, latest video, okay? All I ask is your locations. Please tell us where you guys are from. Can you please try to do that? I really appreciate it. If you don't want to be exact, be general. Just say something. Planet Earth, hemisphere, right? Continent, country, state. All right, I really appreciate that. It's really nice. I like for these videos and the comment section down below to be kind of a supportive community for each other. Okay, that's what we need really bad. And it's nice to not feel so alone and isolated that it's just us. Okay, this is a human condition that's everywhere, wherever humans are. Something I do every week is recommend something. This week, I want to just talk about anxiety for a minute. For those of you who have been traumatized in relationships for long periods of time, ongoing relationships, maybe this even started in childhood, we might have a stress disorder. That's what PTSD is, post-traumatic stress disorder, and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. These are stress disorders, okay? And it causes, amongst many other things that it causes, from other disorders, anxiety disorders, depression, addictive disorders, all this stuff. Anxiety is a big one, isn't it? Anxiety is one that feels really, really bad, right? And it's hard to manage, if at all, if we can at all. And so we all want that to go away, right? But we need to understand it and we need to get to the root core problem. We can't just keep taking drugs for anxiety. It's telling you there's something wrong, something needs to be fixed, and please feel that you're worthy of doing that. So I just wanted to talk about anxiety to help you guys understand something, that this is a stress disorder, and stress causes anxiety. And if we have stress disorders, then that means that we weren't taught how to manage stress, and particularly these are from relationships. We weren't taught how to manage relationships. We need to learn that. This isn't about just making anxiety go away, okay? Here's the first things I looked up, and I didn't make this up. I'm serious. I just found this on, God, I can't remember where I found it. And I should probably give credit. So I'll give credit down in the description box. But here's a list of common things that cause anxiety. Stress at work, stress from school, stress in a personal relationship, such as marriage, financial stress, stress from global occurrences or political issues, stress from unpredictable or uncertain world events, like a pandemic, stress from an emotional trauma, such as the death of a loved one, stress from a serious medical illness, side effect of medication, use of an illicit drug, symptoms of a medical illness, lack of oxygen. So what's the common thing here? Stress, 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 and from all kinds of different aspects of our life. If we do not learn to manage this stress, your anxiety won't go away. Okay? Here's some different types of anxiety disorders. So there's different types of anxiety, right? Not just from, it comes from this and this and this. Generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, specific phobias, agoraphobia, separation anxiety, selective mutism, medication-induced anxiety disorder. Again, we need to get to the root problem of why we're anxious and not cover it up with drugs. I'm not saying don't take anything for anxiety. I'm not ever going to say that. Whatever we need, we do. And if we can't deal with our anxiety by ourselves, getting to the root problem might take more than a day. So take some medication if that helps. But if you leave it there, get ready to take, a lifelong time of drugs and never getting to the root problem. Getting to the root problem doesn't just eliminate anxiety. It helps us be successful in our emotional life and have great, loving, secure relationships with people. That's what life's about. So getting to the root problem of this should help you do that. Or maybe that is the way to solve this. Anxiety. Very, very careful to be mindful. Mindful of how we feel, what we want, what we need, what we're doing. Obvious is drinking caffeine, right? That's not going to help anybody with anxiety, period. I drink Red Bull sometimes, but I couldn't. When I had CPTSD, when I realized I had it and what it was and all that, I eliminated caffeine. And now that it's been several years and I don't have anxiety, almost not at all. I mean, everyone's got a little anxiety. It's meant to serve us. It helps guide us on what's safe and what's comfortable, what's not. If you listen to it, you get a little anxious and then it goes away because you do what you're supposed to do. If we keep ignoring it, it gets worse and worse and worse. So we have to be very mindful. And my bottom line is having a therapist or a counselor or any kind of professional that helps you will help you do this, help you be more mindful, will show you ways to do this, okay? Therapy, talk therapy, so vitally important. There are supplements, lots of natural supplements I recommend on here and to my clients, lots that help with anxiety, okay? And they're natural, no side effects. We can keep taking them. 3 things to be very aware if we want to get rid of anxiety or manage it. Sleep, diet, and activity. Sleep, not enough sleep can cause anxiety. Big time, especially with us, right guys? So let's start really being committed to getting enough sleep. There are just so many things you can do for that, but we have to be committed before we invest, right? Committed to it. Diet, we don't eat long enough. I know that's kind of the new fad or phase right now, right? Skip meals, don't eat, starve. That's great. I'm not even saying that's bad. If we have a stress disorder, that's one of the worst things you could do. Not eating can cause anxiety. If you're anxious, try eating. Okay? The other is activity. And I'm not saying exercise. We got to be active. Something active. Walking, going for rides on a bike, or jogging, exercise. But it's like it's like I'm not asking you to commit to a gym, right? These kinds of things can take a few minutes of raising your heart rate. If we don't, anybody sits still long enough, they have anxiety. Okay, we've got too many chemicals running through our body and we need to get rid of them and process them. Exercise helps you manage them. So if you guys are anxious, raise your heart rate. It's one of the best things you can do. It's right away. It's free. You could do it anywhere. I don't even care if you're at work. Go to the bathroom, raise your heart rate. Something like that, okay? Start being mindful. Mindful again. What causes me anxiety? What makes it better? This is something that we aren't good at, a lot of us. We aren't really mindful of what really hurts, and we do it anyways. Or what really feels good. We're not even aware of that. We don't know what to do to help ourselves feel better. So I wanted to just address that a little bit and see if that helps you guys out a little bit, okay? Really, things we can't do for ourselves or don't know how, ask for help, get help. I know I stress that so much, but man, I just see so many people going untreated with no help, and it probably could just get worse and worse and worse. I'll write some of these things down in the description box if you guys are interested and you want to go over what I said again. Thank you very much. Let's get started. Oh, and I apologize, I'm late today. I try to air this out earlier in the day, but I've been busy. That's all. Thanks for your concern. And I think I might be fixing the problem of my videos being too short. So I'm going to see if I can make them longer today. Okay, let's get started with the first question from Nadia. Nadia, please, I would love to know where you are from. Nadia, please leave us your locations, everybody. Tell us where you are from. Thank you. I wonder if I will ever heal. I feel like I'm losing all hope on myself and my life. I'm dissociating every day. I have obsessive thoughts about being a horrible, evil person who doesn't deserve love or happiness. I judge myself all the time, and I analyze everything I say or do because I feel like a fraud. I'm so sorry. This is depression, okay? These are forms of, or typical symptoms of depression. Dissociating means you don't know how to deal with stress. And the more we dissociate, dissociating's safe, it's okay, but the more we do it, the less we are in touch with who we are. Dissociating means I'm cutting off who I am and what I need and how I feel. I can't take it, so I just cut it off. I go offline. The more we do this, the less we know who we are. And it feels so unstable. I'm really, really sorry. I lash out on my mother, whom I live with, over small things. I take things personally and I feel the need to defend myself and explain myself almost all the time. You're acting and behaving like a narcissist. You just want to calm down. The person you have become, you don't care for. You feel like you should just isolate. You feel like a rotten person towards your mother. You want to feel close to her again. You want to feel connected to her. You have this deep sadness in your heart. It literally hurts my soul to the core. I really don't know what to do. And I hope you're getting help. I really hope you are. These are the kinds of things that we try to do alone and damage more and more damage to ourselves. We need to talk. At least start talking, okay? See somebody, talk to them, and they'll tell you if they can't help you if you need more. One of the hardest things to do is overcome depression. Why? Because we have such a negative attitude and negative outlook on the world. And we think the world might be bad or unsafe and stuff like this. The way we get out of depression is to change that attitude, and it's just almost impossible, especially by ourselves. If you get some help, somebody will help you with that, okay? You might need medicine. I don't know. See a professional because you're suffering, and you don't have to. There's no need to suffer like this, okay? I'm really sorry. People in your personal life can't solve this or cure this for you. And I don't think you'll be able to do it yourself. So please get help. Please, please, please get help. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. And let this beautiful person come out that you're meant to be, okay? She's trapped in there, afraid. And this goes back to what I said before. We haven't learned how to navigate through all this stuff, how to manage stress. Dissociating is too stressful for you. So there's lots of underlying problems, I bet, in your past, in your childhood, okay? So get help. I don't know what else to say, but get help, help, help. Yeah, dissociating, depression, these are all typical symptoms of PTSD. I'm not saying you have that. I'm not a doctor. I'm definitely not diagnosing you, but these are typical. And you might have CPTSD. It sounds like this has probably been going on since you were a child. All the more reason to get help. All the more reason to get help. Yeah. Good luck. I'm really sorry. But these aren't problems that people in your personal life are going to solve, and you aren't going to do it by yourself. Get help, okay? I really hope you do. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know how it goes. Ask me more questions, okay? Thank you. Hi, David. Michelle from New York. Hello, Michelle. I'm now going through the smear campaign. The ex-narcissist posted my name on a public forum, spreading awful lies about me. He outwardly put my full name on the internet, slandering me. It's awful. I'm so angry. I want revenge so badly. I know it's not the way to go, but I'm having a really hard time with this. Any advice on how to handle this would help. Thank you. I am awfully sorry. These are so damaging. People that haven't had this happen to them, it's really hard to understand. Really, really hard to understand. I sure have had this happen, and it's nasty. It's awful. It's abuse. It's traumatizing. Okay? And Michelle, if we haven't learned how to deal with stress and cope with stress, man, this is going to be tough. This is really, really tough. We got to stop looking at it. And I know we think that we got to know what's going on. We got to know what's being said so we can go and try and fix it and defend ourselves. This is garbage. And as we've been dating garbage and having garbage friends maybe, and maybe not healthy family, we start buying into this crap. And we start worrying about what everybody else is going to think because we're used to being judged. We're used to people not understanding us. And we're used to having so much stress. We don't know how to cope. And we feel helpless and hopeless. So we've got to give ourselves more doors, more options, more choices. Instead of, I go defend myself or do nothing and take it. Worst thing you can do is defend yourself. I'm just talking purely out of experience. Okay? Purely out of experience. Best thing you could do is not see it, not hear it, not be around it. Okay? It won't do you any good to see what they're doing. It won't. It'll hurt you. It's damaging. You know what it looks like when you see it. You know what it looks like when you hear it. So we got to cut that out. Nobody should be telling you. You don't need updates. None of that stuff. Okay? You can document what you already know. If they're using social media platforms, try with each one of those platforms to have it removed. Try it with the people up top. YouTube doesn't care. YouTube loves it. YouTube loves this stuff. Doesn't matter if I've reported 60 videos of somebody using my name and my face and making up lies. They don't care. They enjoy it. They make money. And I'm not going to get upset because I know that companies, businesses don't have a conscience. Facebook is a lot more helpful. Facebook will do stuff about this typically. YouTube has a new policy coming out at the end of the year to help with this stuff more. I can't wait. But you can try on an individual basis to get it stopped. Okay? You can, I would recommend getting help and therapy and talking to somebody about this stuff because you're being abused. Okay? We need help with this to cope. You can also consider a lawyer. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're in a different country. You can get a lawyer to help you. You can get a lawyer to help press charges. Sometimes police won't go do anything about crime. I know, sometimes a lot of times police won't do anything about crime. When they have a lawyer force them, then they have to. Then they become responsible. You can, and that's criminal action. You can take civil action and sue them for any damages. Anybody smearing you and not allowing you to make money starts getting extortion, things like this, forms of extortion, depending on what country you're in. I fill out police reports. You said you're from New York. I don't know where they're, I'm guessing they're in America too. That's better. Okay. Start filling out police reports. Start documenting what these things feel like. If you feel like your life is in danger, that's what's important. If you feel like this is causing you a lot of stress, stuff like this, that's important. Okay. So we don't look at it anymore. We don't have anybody inform us of it anymore. And we realize this is sick, nasty, disgusting, toxic behavior that only sick, nasty, disgusting, toxic people enjoy. Most people aren't that sick. Very, very most. Okay? And they don't want to see it. They don't care. They don't spread it. Okay? So stop defending yourself to the sick and disgusting, unhealthy people. Stop trying to put too much stock into what anybody thinks about you. This is a time where the people that know us, we talk to them and they tell us we're okay, we're better than that. That's not true. Okay? I hope that helps. I'm just awfully sorry, Michelle. It's just so horrible. It really is. It's one of the worst things you can do to another person. And these people that do this, they want you to hurt yourself. They want you to suffer. They want you to die. They want you to kill yourself, stuff like this. They love it. They love it. I'm sorry. There's people that's sick out there, okay? And these are the people that say, oh, I just love helping people and I'm here to help and I just would never, only narcissists hurt people and that person's a narcissist. Yeah, I've been through it all. I know that. But I hope I offered some beneficial advice. Please take it, okay? Please. We can't be submitted to this. So if you keep looking, it's going to keep damaging you. And the more it damages you, the more emotions you have, the more impulsive we get. And then we start defending ourselves. We lash out and commit revenge and stuff like this. Okay? Your emotional health and mental health is what matters. And the more successful you get and the more you ignore this person, because that's all they want. They want your attention. And if they can't control you, they want to control people around you. Okay? So once it doesn't work, they feel horrible. And eventually, they always usually give up. Okay? Thank you. Good luck. Psycho from Brazil. I have both narcissistic parents. I don't live with them anymore. I've had relationships all my life, some even with some good points, but always allowing things that should not be allowed. To close with a flourish, I related to a borderline. I ended the relationship with her after suffering a lot, defamation, false accusations, etc. I don't believe in any people anymore, seriously. What, in your opinion, can I start to help me in this context? Professional help. Okay? This is damaging. Sounds like you're being nastily abused. And typically, there's a reason for this. There's a pattern of this, typically. Okay? You probably had abusive relationships. You might have had an abusive childhood. We can't heal from what we don't know. Okay? Most of my clients say, I had a normal childhood. And I start showing them, and it was far from it. Far from it. But we don't know, and we aren't aware of things that we didn't get, like neglect, okay? And we don't have other families to compare this to. We need to heal from your relationship, right? And let's start talking to somebody. Let's start learning what happened and understanding. Healing means I understand what happened. Your question, what in your opinion can I start to help me in this context? Therapy. We need to know who we are. The more we know who we are, the less we care about what other people think, for one. So smear campaigns just start hurting less and less and less. I've learned a lot from the smear campaign I've endured for 3 years. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I have. And now I don't care anymore. Who cares? You know, I'm not in control of it. The parts I am in control of, I do something about. I don't see it, hear it, smell it. No one tells me anymore. I don't care. Who cares? You're not going to stop nasty, sick, disgusting people. You know? But this is something you need to heal from. Okay? And that means understanding it. And then really, really focusing on who you are. Really. These relationships force us to lose who we are. We may not have had very good or very much autonomy as children in the first place. Okay? We typically have been taught to be there for somebody else, that somebody needs to need us. You had a relationship, you've had bad relationships all your life. Yeah, and someone here abusing you clearly. Where do I start? If you've had bad relationships your whole life, it started at the very beginning of your life, okay? And if you're not sure or you don't believe me, try to go find out first, okay? That's the best thing to do. This really is about us, guys. It really is. Out of all the toxic people we've had in our life and all the bad things they've done and all the traumatic experiences and all the bad stuff, it's just about us. Because it's the only thing that we can fix is us, not them, not anybody else, and we can't change the past. We can change how we feel about it. And if we feel bad about the past, that's things we need to heal from. And it's real difficult to have success in life by ignoring our past, ignoring the pain, because it doesn't ever go away on its own. We process our emotions. We process what's happened and really understand it, okay? Lots of things I do for my clients. Lots of activities, supplements, things like this. Lots of talking and understanding and healing. Okay? It took me years to heal from this. And now I know how. It can take clients a couple months sometimes, you know. Really, it's really fast. But we need the help, and we have to feel worthy of that help. Thank you. Thank you, Psycho. Leave Her Wild from Canada. Hello. Thank you for taking your time with your lengthy answers to my question. I will be taking all of your important advice. I appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Thank you very much. One thing you said was only communicating via email because of the lies. And I think you mean with children, when you share children with an abuser, you only communicate via email. The story is I had asked them to please stop eating out. So you wanted him to stop eating McDonald's and feeding it to your children while he has your children, because you guys have shared custody. And your dad agreed. And then the next time you saw them, they're eating McDonald's, and they just ate McDonald's the night before. You had a lengthy conversation with your daughter about how important it is not to lie to mommy. I couldn't stop my tears from falling. I had a light bulb moment that day, as I have been battling my daughter, telling small lies for quite some time now, and now I understand why her dad thinks it's acceptable. I'm heartbroken. She's only 7. That must be so tough. I have no idea. I mean, I hear my clients and I hear people's stories, and it's so tough. I just don't have children of my own. Awful, awful, awful. Some pieces of advice. Get your children into therapy. They need to know what a real role model is, a male role model. That's why I usually recommend having the therapist be a male. Let's have other men in your daughter's life, your children's life, to show them what a real man is like, instead of this other child that's trying to raise them. Try not to be so emotional, Mom. What a hard thing for me to say. I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to give you advice. We try not to emphasize bad behavior, and we emphasize the good ones. The bad ones, we just say, that's wrong, don't do that, and explain to them why, and you move on. You can start helping your children understand why this behavior doesn't serve them, instead of bad and good, okay? What does lying do, right? So you're going to ask her something, she's going to tell you, and you're going to say, I don't know what to believe. I don't know if you're just lying or not. And she may hopefully start seeing this as making things harder for me. And you can reward telling the truth, okay? You know, lying's a thing, isn't it, that we've all done, we all do. But that doesn't mean that we can't be mindful of it and really value honesty. So I would recommend your children in therapy. Try a male, or let's have some male role models in their life, okay? Really try to explain to her without much emotion. Try to explain to her why it's not serving her, what it does to her. And then reward good behavior. Document this. Give it to your lawyer, okay? On its own, it may be nothing. When you have this much documents of things that he's done over time, it might mean something. Another thing I do is sometimes, this is up to you, you're just communicating via email, tell him how he's a failure. Tell him how he's failing his children as a father. These kinds of things causes shame, and that's all they care about. He doesn't care about being a good father or a bad father. He cares about other people and what their opinion is of him. Very different. A lot of people get messed up on this, right? They'll say, all I care about is my children. Well, it seems like they care, you know, they always want the children and they spoil them and stuff like this. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you really love and care about the welfare of your children. Because people like him are dependent, meaning he's dependent on his children. Okay? That he can't self-soothe, take care of himself. Lots of shame. If I have my children around, then now I'm a good father. He wants people to think he's a good father. Start telling him he's a bad failure of a father, and he may not want to be around them anymore. Okay? Talk to your lawyer. I'm sure you guys have some kind of things, stuff about this in your custody, you know? I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I always recommend to fight for full custody and do whatever you can for it. Because someone who's disordered and abusive does no good in a child's life. None. None. Your children, if he's abusive to them and stuff like this, they're better off without him. They're better off without him. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But, you know, a father coming in and out of their lives and not being supportive and offering security and meeting their needs and teaching them all these bad things and bad ways to navigate, it's not gonna, they don't need a father like that. That's not a father, right? It's another child. I'm really sorry. My heart always goes out to every parent struggling with these similar problems. It's sad. Kathleen, hi David. Thank you for your video. You made an excellent point. Codependency is an addiction. Yeah, it sure is, isn't it? Dependency, emotional dependency. I can't take care of myself. I'm dependent on you. Over time, I become more and more dependent, right? The more I drink, the more dependent I get, right? The more I do drugs, the more I become dependent on that, right? So the more I'm in this toxic relationship, my hormones rising and falling, just like drugs and alcohol, the more I become dependent on that. And I wanted to talk, has to do a little bit about someone's question from last week. Dependent relationships, right? I just wanted to talk a minute about it. I looked up the word dependent. Here's some other words like it. Contingent, conditional, require, unable to do without, addicted to. Watch for the word need. I need him. No, you don't. You have emotional needs like security, privacy, autonomy, connection. You need those, but you don't need him, right? Because now once we need him, we're screwed, aren't we? Now what? If that person is a need, what are you going to do if they're not there for you? If they hurt you, if they abuse you, if they leave you? Sad, right? So watch out for that word need. And I ask myself a question. Is this true? If I think I'm in a codependent relationship, I say, does how I feel depend on what they do? Or reverse it? Does how they feel totally depend on what I do? And I think you guys understand, most of you have been in dependent relationships, and you'll be able to answer yes to one of those. Oh yeah, actually, everything I did, decided or determined how they felt and how they reacted and what they did, right? And it just shouldn't. Whether I'm having a horrible day or having a bad day or even a good day or just an average day, an okay day, we are still able to calm ourselves, process emotions, and still share with them, but not need them. I hear this all the time from toxic people, right? I needed you. I need you right now. What about me? So in independent or interdependent relationships, we have autonomy. We have our own self and our own lives, and we just share it. We don't become one person. People say 50-50, right? Is what you need for a relationship. Let's try 100-100. Anybody in a toxic, abusive, neglectful relationship, don't date right away. I know that's what this thing wants to do because we're dependent. That's what narcissists and borderlines do, right? They cannot be alone. Cannot. And if you start feeling like that, we're in trouble. The answer isn't to date, okay? If we've had failed relationships, we better figure out why, or we usually repeat it, okay? I just wanted to talk about that. Reciprocation, guys, reciprocation. Ask yourself, was your relationships reciprocated? Were they equal? No. And that usually starts in childhood, right? Where we do more for our parents than they even do for us. Where we're not equal. Mom and dad are way more important. How they feel is more important, what they need, what they want, their opinion. Why can't we be equal, even as children? Okay? Thank you, Kathleen. Love to know where you're from. Mario from Italy. Hello, Mario. My question for today is, how do people from cluster A of personality disorder believe in intimate relationships? Looks like it is very easy to find a narcissist nowadays. The world is plenty of people with narcissistic traits, but what about these type of disordered people? So, personality disorders. There's 10 of them, just for you guys who don't know. There's 10 different personality disorders, and they grouped them into 3 groups, A, B, and C. Your B is where your narcissist is, also shares with 4 or 3 others, 4 altogether. Narcissistic, got to think about it, borderline, histrionic, and antisocial. That's your sociopath, psychopath. So Mario's asking about cluster A, and cluster A has 3 different. They're not in front of me. Paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, and schizotypal personality disorder. Each group can be clustered, it can be kind of labeled by one word, starts with a W. Cluster B, the narcissists and all that, are wild. Cluster C is worried, and cluster A is weird. Okay, so we've got paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. Most of them, if not all, just really don't date for different reasons. Okay, so paranoid personality disorder is typically totally isolates and paranoid that everybody's up to something, okay, and they typically isolate. Schizoid personality disorder doesn't want relationships. They're alone. They push everybody away. They don't want it. But schizotypal does want relationships, does seek them and attachment, right? But they say things or they dress weird and it pushes people away. And being personality disorder means we're not aware, right? So they're not aware they're even doing it. Schizotypal can look a lot like borderline. Matter of fact, there's a genetic leak, can be a genetic leak between borderline, schizotypal, and schizophrenia, another mental health disease. So they just, not only do people with personality disorders, until they get better, if they can, don't have functional, healthy, loving, growing relationships, but cluster A really doesn't. They just really don't. They really, really don't. So how do you behave in intimate relationships? Well, like I said, paranoid is going to just accuse you of everything. Everything. And they usually aren't going to be in relationships. They're totally isolated. Schizoid, same thing. Totally isolated, totally avoidant, push everybody away, don't want it. Schizotypal, they push everybody away and they're not aware they're doing it. Okay? They're not aware they're doing it. I've seen schizotypal people in relationships. Oh, about homeless people, just to help you. Homeless, you have psychosis, right? A lot of homeless people are schizophrenics and they're crazy and they cannot take care of themselves. And it's really, really sad. Really, really sad. Then a majority of homeless people are usually schizotypal. Schizotypal. They can't get along, but they're trying, they keep failing, and they don't know what the problem is, and they could be nice, they could be exploitative, but they push people away, all right? Hope that I answered your question, Mario. Please tell me if I haven't. Schizotypal would be the only one that you really see in a relationship. They're a lot like borderline. They may think that you're cheating on them all the time. They'll be offensive. It's typical to get in fights out in public, start fights, start stuff with people, not realizing that it's them. There's a little element of paranoia, things like this. Okay, thank you. Next question is from Kiki. Hello, Kiki. I don't know where you're from. Please tell us your locations. Thank you. Has it to do with childhood trauma when you start self-destruction, cutting and dieting by the age of 11? 11 is rather young to be full of self-hate. I used to hate myself since I can remember. So typically, yes, okay? These things can be genetic, some of it. There's 3 parts that make up who we are: our genetic makeup, our upbringing, environment, or culture, society, okay, that we live in. Yes, most of this, I'll say most of this type of behaviors is from childhood trauma. It's childhood attachment trauma. When you really understand how traumatizing neglect can be, just emotional neglect, you'll start to understand, okay? In the cutting, in the not eating, hurting ourselves, trying to just cope with how bad it feels. Just trying to cope with how absolutely bad we feel. And our parents didn't help us do that at all. Awfully sorry, Kiki. Next question is from Miranda. Don't know where you're from. Please, everyone, tell us your locations. Tell us where you are. We would like to know. Hey, David, you stress a lot about the importance of knowing who you are. This may be a dumb question, but what do you exactly mean by that regarding healing from abuse? So never a dumb question, only a dumb answer. Okay? Please ask me anything, guys. So I stress a lot of importance of knowing who you are for everyone on this planet. What do I exactly mean by regarding healing from abuse? If, our parents need to help us form our autonomous self, who we are. And that is allowing us to express ourselves and throwing tantrums and having imaginary friends and kind of, standing up for ourselves, right? I like this, that doesn't feel good. But when we have parents like ours, They tell us. They don't allow us to express ourselves. Stop complaining. Shut up. Be quiet. Smile. Look good. Happy. Clean. Put on the clothes I gave you. Do what I told you to do. Anything else is wrong. Okay? And so we weren't allowed to be ourselves. We're there for them. And when we grow up, we have abusive people in our life. We date somebody who's nothing that we want, doesn't give us what we need, feels really bad, and goes against everything we morally value. Right? So if we even had a good sense of who we are before these relationships, which I don't think we did, if we did, we've compromised who we are. I say that I value respect and honesty and loyalty and integrity. But the person that I'm going to start dating doesn't value those things at all. Lies, their word means nothing, and they disrespect people all day, and me. You can't have both. You can't have a strong sense of self that values those things and have our significant other in our life that does not and goes against those things. One of them has to go. One of them has to give. Boom. What I value. Screw it. If we have somebody abusing us, that feels wrong. Feels bad. Hurts us. But if we don't stop them, we have to start. One of them has to give, right? We either have to feel horrible all the time, right? And let them abuse us. Or we get rid of them to feel better, right? Or we have to cut off how we feel. Start cutting it off, cutting it off. All kinds of ways we can do that. We can do like the first person, dissociate. We can get high, get drunk. We can stay at work all the time. We can have sex all the time. All addictions, gambling, I could go on, right? Addictions. That helps. Now I can stay and get abused and it doesn't hurt as bad. How we feel is who we are. We just threw away how we feel. We're rejecting ourselves, not accepting ourselves. Okay? So what else do we have? What we need? We have emotional needs. Most of my clients don't know what those are, right? And that's why we didn't get ourselves what we need. So I have what I need, emotional needs, most important thing in our life. Or I have somebody in my life that exploits these things and will never offer and give me what I need, ever. One of them has to give. One of them has to go. Either the person or my needs. And if we keep the person, needs are gone. These are parts of ourself that are gone, gone, gone. Does your abuser give you what you want? No. Do they value your opinion? No. Who are we? Who are we? Nothing more than a victim in pain. Okay? Now after this relationship is gone, we must find who we are. All right? Because all of you guys want to know, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And I can't answer that for you because I don't know you. Right? The only person, the best person that should know what you should do is you. You, right here, you. Okay? That's you. You decide. And that's why we don't tell people what they should do. Okay? People, watch out for people that do that. Watch out for people that tell you how you should feel or dismiss your feelings. Watch out for people that don't value what you value morally. Okay? We can't have our cake and eat it too, right? So we've compromised who we are. We've lost a sense of who we are. And without having that back, without having a sense of that, we don't know where to go. We don't know what to do. I hope that makes sense. Miranda, thank you for asking me, and please ask me more questions, okay? Thank you. Kiki again. Please tell us your locations, everyone. Just reminded me to say that again. And you say, but how can we go no contact with the person who produced us? We share the same DNA. Could it be that we share thoughts and feelings from our mother, from her pregnancy, and throughout our life, there's like this voice inside us that talks with this voice without us even wanting it? My opinion is no. What it sounds like is a very dependent relationship you have with your mom. Children, and by the way, please go watch my video, Kiki, and all of you. I made a video just a couple days ago, Friday, and it's about 15, it's called 15 Signs of Narcissistic Parenting, to help you guys understand, okay? We are meant to be dependent on our parents, and they supply what we need, fully dependent, and we have everything we need that way. okay? And eventually we spread our wings and fly from the nest, and we want to do that, okay? If they don't give us what we need, it's hard to do that. We keep trying and trying and trying. We find somebody else that will. If they are dependent on us, which is narcissistic parenting, we comfort them. We look like what they want to look like. We don't tell them how we really feel. We're just their feelings are more important and all this stuff. Now they're dependent on us, and what do? That's what love is. Someone that needs us, and so we go look for somebody else that needs us, like a narcissist, like a borderline. See that? Okay, that's the connection. So the little voice is something that we all have. Little voice that just keeps us alive in our brain. As we get more depressed, that voice gets louder. If we have a parent always telling us what we should have done, and judged us and stuff like this, we can carry that voice around in our head until we heal. Okay? For years, I had my dad telling me, oh, that's not practical, that's not good, that's stupid, that's retarded, that's like all these bad, nasty things. And I felt like that whenever I wanted to do something for myself. Oh, no, that's not stupid. Oh, no, that's practical. That's not practical. That's foolish. Oh, that's not reasonable. Nobody else would do that. That's maybe the voice you're thinking about. Okay? Sounds like you're in a dependent relationship with your mom. And if you don't heal from that, you will keep repeating it. Okay? Thank you. The blonde artiste. Don't know where you're from. I forgot. Please tell us where you guys are from. Tell us your locations, everybody. Thank you. Hello again, David. Thanks for answering my question. You're welcome. Thank you. I've got 2 questions for you about things I don't see a lot. I don't see a lot about. Can you talk about the controlling natures of rescuers? Can you also talk about how survivors sometimes use gallows humor when talking about their trauma, specifically if it's some kind of emotional shield or if something is going on? Coping, at least coping. When we make slight or make fun of our traumas and our bad predicament, right? It's a way to shrink it down. It's a way to deal with it now. It's a little smaller. And, to have a little humor helps. That's why I try to have a little humor on here for you guys. It helps, okay? But it's a coping mechanism. The controlling nature of rescuers, right? So people that gravitate towards people that are suffering and hurting and stuff like this is us. People that are hurting and suffering. We're identifying with that. We see it. Oh, you're like me. I'm suffering. You're suffering. Human beings. We do this. All of us, to some degree, we go with what we identify with, right? So I have segregated neighborhoods and churches and schools and stuff like this. We tend to go with what we know. It's more comfortable. And if we're suffering and we've been abused and neglected, same thing, we identify with that. Another human condition is it's difficult to look at our own problems. It's easy to look at somebody else's. I can't manage my life. I will manage someone else's. I truly, truly believe that this is the majority of people in the mental health profession. Sadly. I don't need help. I don't want to get help. But I don't feel good, can't manage my life. I'll become a therapist and manage other people's lives. Okay? It's a human condition. It actually does help us feel better helping someone else when we're hurting. Okay? But we've got to take care of ourselves. Okay? So if I'm here to, I love the word help, right? Man, that can't be, that word, help. I get scared. Anybody just says, I'm here to help you. I just want to help you. I just want to help. That alone starts, right? I've seen a lot of people use that word and they're nasty, toxic, and abuse people. Emotional immaturity means I'm trying to change people, right? I'm sorry, but a lot of us say, I just was hoping they would change. I'm just waiting for them to change. They said that they would change. It's so much easier to find somebody else with all these qualities you like instead of changing this person to be like them, right? Okay. I want to help. I want to fix them. I want to rescue them, right? People need to do it for themselves. And if they don't know how, they go ask for help. Okay? And if you're not a mental health professional, I wouldn't try to go help people with their mental health problems. Right? Typically, if people are doing super, super bad, they don't just need $10 or a good night out on dinner, or typically it's like, man, we need some help, okay? And that mental health isn't something that we're gonna help our family with or our friends with. We're supporting casts, you know? Bounce things off of me, cry to me, I'll tell you I'm sorry, you know, buy you a beer. But we have issues, deep underlying issues that need to be resolved. In other words, this is my opinion, again, anybody in a borderline's life, okay, that remains in a borderline's life, that is not getting better, that's not helping themselves at all, you are simply enabling them. Right? There's a real fine line between help and enable. Help and enable. Little tiny fine line in there. We don't need to change people. We need to be aware of who we are, so we'll be able to find other people in our life that match, like, the things I value, and they give me what I need and stuff like this. People are different. It's one of the biggest, hardest lessons I ever learned in my life. We're all equal, but man, we are different. Not everybody values your morals. Not everybody cares how you care about. Not everybody values emotional connection. So the controlling nature of rescuers is typically dependency, and I want to control your life because I can't control mine. That's what the codependent is. Hope I answered your question. Thank you. Tell me if I have not. And Kiki again. Don't know where you're from still. Hello, David. I watched all of your videos so far, and you keep emphasizing how important it is to put ourselves first and that we don't owe anybody anything. What even is the sense of having a relationship? What to bring into one? And if life is all about the individual's need, how can there possibly be a us? I mean, sometimes you sound so indifferent towards others. I just don't understand. I'm sorry if I sound that way to you. I don't believe I am indifferent to other people. I love people. I have lots of good relationships in my life, and I value them very, very much, and the people in my life. So, Kiki, the way the world works is we've got to take care of ourselves. We aren't here to take care of other people. Okay? Very, very important, and I mean emotionally. There are some people that can't, right, do it, and maybe they need some extra help from others. But the majority of the world, this is how the world works, meets their own emotional needs. All right? So other people don't do that. Do it for us. We don't just wait around for somebody to take care of me and meet my emotional needs. I've got to do it myself. And if we don't do it first, now we're putting other people before us. Right? And what if we never get our needs met? Okay, Kiki? So there are people out there, as you probably know, who don't care about these things. Okay? They don't take care of themselves, right? And they are dependent on others to do that for them. So if you have the attitude that I put everybody first before me, there's a long line of manipulators and unhealthy, toxic people waiting to be in your life, Kiki. A long line of them. A long line of people who don't take care of themselves, that don't know how, and they don't care about you, and they're not going to take care of you or meet your needs, right? They just want you to do that for them. So what do you do in that situation, Kiki? Do you meet their needs before yours and never get yours met? I'm simply telling you how the world works. It's not even an opinion. That's how it works. And if we don't play the game right, we lose. Okay? Find out what emotional needs are. It'll really help you understand, Kiki. And I'm not saying you don't, but the more we know what emotional needs are, the more we start to understand. That's how I help my clients show that they're neglected. Okay? And we can't keep having relationships like that. We've got to put ourselves first. Just like I love the analogy, if the plane's going down, right, and the oxygen masks drop, what do they say? Put yours on first, and then the child. The best parent is a healthy parent. One of the worst parents is, I don't care about me, I put my child first all the time. You're teaching your child that. You're teaching your child to be selfless, or you're teaching them to be selfish. Okay? I hope I answered your question. Please keep asking me, Kiki, if I didn't. How can there possibly be an us? And that's the dependent right? Thinking we're one person. No. Kiki and let's say Jonathan, right, have their own lives with your own different needs and your own values and your own feelings, and you have your own jobs and your own interests, right? You don't have the same. It's not all the same, right? Okay? I hope that makes sense. Kiki, please keep asking me. Thank you. Jennifer from Spain. Hi, Jennifer. I was wondering if my father has narcissistic personality disorder traits. He would control you by telling you at a young age that no one would ever love you. That's abuse. That's exploitation. Sure, that's narcissistic. I made a video again last Friday. Please watch it, Jennifer. Tell me what you think. A video, 15 signs of narcissistic parenting. We are not calling anybody a narcissist. That's a personality disorder. Not saying that. We're saying narcissistic. The parents having children there for them instead of them being there for the children. We grow up that way. It can be very difficult to see. Very, very difficult. How about some more? You could... The only people... He would say the only person you can trust is him. He's trying to make you so dependent on him you won't leave him. And that means he's dependent on you more. He would try to convince you that everyone was secretly jealous of you and wanting you to fail. That's a pretty warped mind if he believes that. Massive depression, massive shame, paranoid, doesn't trust anybody, and that's your father. Okay, so he's trying to make you just like him. Your mother would also abuse you, throwing out personal objects, all narcissistic parenting, immature as hell. She claimed it invited the devil in my life. Well, that would assume that you have the same beliefs as she does, right? Not allowing you to have your own. Mom's more important. Mom's paranoia and religious beliefs are more important than you and your stuff. And then she just lie and deny it. Gaslighting, narcissistic. This is long and you've listed quite a bit. And I'm just sitting here. It's all narcissistic. All of it. All of it. Hurting you on purpose is the definition of abuse. This is all abuse. You also were neglected. You didn't get anything you need. Starting with autonomy. Okay? I hope that helps. Thank you for what you said. Thank you. Triangulate you in every single fight. Oh, God. You're describing narcissists. Not just narcissistic parenting. You're describing literal narcissists. So do they have traits? Yes. It's a spectrum we're all on. Am I calling them a narcissist? That's 5 out of 9 traits? No, I'm not. I don't know that. I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't do that. This is narcissistic, okay? I hope that helps, Jennifer. Please keep asking me questions. God is great. Don't know where you're from. Please tell us your locations, everybody. Please. I say it every single time, and I say it on the videos, and I put it in the comment sections. Please tell us your locations, everyone. Hello, David. I watched one of your videos on BPD, and I find it hard to believe those who struggle with BPD are either sociopaths or narcissists. I already messaged this person. This person got back to me that they might have misinterpreted my video. You did. I never would say BPD are also sociopaths or narcissists. That's 3 entirely different personality disorders. And I, more than most people, believe they're all different and separate. You said, my cousin is struggling with mental health issues and has been diagnosed with BPD. She is a lovely person, very kind and sweet. On contrary, her husband is abusive towards her, and from his behavior, coming back home late and lying that he was delayed at work, has made her very miserable. It's a sign he is having an affair. She is having a hard time to leave. She is pregnant and she is so broken. I remember when she got married and how much she did for her husband. Yeah, more for her husband maybe than he did for her. Reciprocation again. Not all diagnosed with BPD are sociopaths. The abused inflicted upon her by her not so good POS of a husband has created this diagnosis. No. Her husband did not make her borderline. If she's borderline, she was borderline before the marriage. Very clear on that, okay? This is a childhood developmental problem. This started early in childhood. Borderline starts very early in childhood. Okay? No connection with mom, massive neglect, and trauma, sexual, physical, or both. Just to show you how they become this way. And she's probably married somebody, maybe married somebody like one of her abusive parents. She needs to heal from that. Okay? Be very careful what you do for her in her life. Okay? She needs to get help. Just being diagnosed isn't enough. Okay? If she's not getting help and she has a personality disorder, I don't know what she's doing married to people. She needs to work on herself and help herself and fix herself. Okay? And if she's borderline, people with personality disorder, especially borderline, exploit people. She's not very aware of what's really going on in her relationship. What she tells you may not be accurate. Okay? Pretty soon, she may see you as what you do for her, not who you are. Okay? She might even turn on you, accuse you of doing something to her, and smear you or abuse you or hurt you some way. I'm sorry, that's reality. And I hope you saw back in my video that you said that I didn't say they're all the same. I hope you said that. Please keep asking me questions, okay? Thank you. And that's it. Fewer questions this week, but good ones. Thank you, all of you. All of you. If you can support me, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button if you want to know when my videos are coming out. If you think that I've helped you or could help somebody else have something beneficial, can you please support me? Can you please subscribe, vote up or down on this video, go down below, comment, say hi, tell us where you're from, tell us your locations, okay? You can post this at different places. You can put it in a playlist on your channel. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm trying to save people's lives here. Whatever this information reaches, maybe it'll save a life, and you guys can help me do that. Anybody who wants coaching, daviddemars.com. Okay? Thank you, all of you. Love yourself first, and I'll see you next week.